The proper use of color can aid in the functionality and appearance of a user interface. Using too many colors, however, can result in color clashes that cause the user interface to look too busy and distracting. Use the LabVIEW provided tool called the Color Picker to aid you in selecting appropriate colors. Go to View, Tools Palette, and from the Tools palette select the Color Picker. Now you can simply right-click on anything on your front panel workspace and move your mouse over different colors. This will help you see what your front panel will look like when you apply a particular color. Spacing and alignment are important tools to use to make your user interface more easily understandable by the user. White space and alignment are probably the most important techniques for grouping and separation. The more items that your eye can find on a line, the cleaner and more cohesive the organization seems. Use tools available in the tool menu to align objects. Take a look at the following front panel. When you're designing a front panel, consider how users interact logically with the VI, and group controls and indicators accordingly. If several controls are related, like all of these alarms, add a decorative border or a decoration around them to put them in a cluster. You can use lines to try and separate controls that are not related. When placing front panel objects, take care not to put them too closely together. This can be problematic and confusing to the user. In general, use common sense and develop your own style of design for your user interfaces. These guidelines will help you be successful in creating a user-friendly front panel. Now we'll cover some tools and tips for making functional user interfaces. We'll talk about tab controls and decorations. This VI makes use of a tab control to display a number of different controls and indicators that are not related in a small amount of front panel space. Let's create a new VI by clicking File, New VI. We'll put a tab control on this VI by navigating to the Container subpalette and dragging and dropping the tab control onto our front panel. You can click on this and drag the corners in order to resize, and you can double-click on text fields to change the text. To add controls and indicators to a tab control, you simply drag and drop. Navigate back to the main controls palette and go to the numeric subpalette. Let's drag and drop a thermometer indicator onto the first page. Resize it by dragging, and go ahead and change the location of the label, also by dragging. Select page 2 and put down a gauge indicator. Now let's use some decorations to highlight their appearance. Navigate back to the main controls palette and then navigate to the Decorations subpalette. Select the recessed box and drag it onto the tab control. Use your mouse to resize accordingly. Notice that the decoration is on top of our indicator. We can change this by clicking it and using the Reorder Objects pull-down menu. Go back to page 1 and select the horizontal smooth box. Drag to resize accordingly, and then use the pull-down menu to change the order. Now we have several indicators on the same amount of front panel space. We've covered the concept of a good user interface We've talked about designing controls and indicators, including the proper use of labels and captions, as well as control and indicator options. We've covered the proper use of color. We've talked about spacing and alignment. And we've given you some advanced tips and tools, like tab controls and decorations, that will help make your user interfaces both elegant and functional.